Well, it's Tuesday.
It is.
And we're back in Garage Mahal.
Yes.
We've been kind of doing Tuesdays from here, there, and everywhere. Anyway, we're back in Garage Mahal. Actually, we've been 2 weeks ago and then this week, and we've been doing the Rat Fink reunion. Because we went down to the Rat Fink reunion, which is always a good deal of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we have mentioned in both of those shows that Ed Big Daddy Roth was probably best known for his character Rat Fink.
Right.
But, and then we had that show, here's a link to it, with Jim Keeler, who was one of the developers of the plastic models of some of Ed Roth's cars. He sort of made his reputation building hot rods and custom cars, and then started drawing this character, Rat Fink. And then the model company, Revell, said, well, let's do a figure of Rat Fink.
Let's do it, yeah.
And all of a sudden they hit a home run. I immediately went out as a kid and bought two.
Of course.
They were, this one's really dusty.
Yeah, they've been upstairs a while.
But Revell, and the original price on these was somewhere right around like 50 cents. So a plastic model car would set you back $2. You could buy 4 of these for the price of one of those. There may be 2 of these.
Curious,
I'm not sure.
That one's, you can open that
Well,
one.
this one's all open. It's
Right.
not open, but it's open because there really isn't much to them. But when my brother David bought one of these and he started working on it, and I just went, you got to be kidding. And I immediately got on my bicycle, rode over to Grand Central, and bought one. 50 cents, blew half my allowance on it. Anyway, here it is, and let's get a little better look at
The box.
the box.
Oh.
But it's the same size box as a model car. There's something in here that's always on the loose, and you need to be really careful because they didn't put it in the bag.
Oh, no.
And that's his eyeballs.
His eyeballs? There's
His
eyeballs?
eyeballs.
Oh, the pupil. Oh, the pupil part.
They're little red jewels
Oh, my gosh.
that go into his eyes, and they're
Oh.
just on the loose in the box. So
Okay.
you have to be really careful
Hold on,
not
the
to
Martha
lose
Stewart
those.
in me's coming out because
Okay, we'll put them in
right
a bag.
here I've got a bag.
We will
It's marked C for eyeballs.
bag them as evidence.
As in C.
I can't get these open.
Here,
Can you open that? I hate these plastic bags. I can never get them open. I'm glad you can.
I think it was already open.
The other thing, it's like when people tie crackle sacks in knots, and I finally just tear the thing apart. Anyway, there's the pupils. Here's the instructions, and if you can't build one of these without instructions, you are really pathetic. There's the instructions.
You put the front half and the back half
You
together.
glue the two halves together, you hook the tail on, and you glue it to the base. 4 parts.
Glue the
Oh,
tail
and then
to
you
the
put the eyeballs in. So I
Yeah, don't
guess
forget
6
the eyeballs.
parts.
Okay, there's 6 parts.
6 parts. Oh, and then the feet. So actually, we're probably out to about 10 parts. Anyway, we're ripping open the bag so that we can actually call this an unboxing video if somebody wants
Right.
to call it that.
Well, I call it cool.
Oh, this was one of my favorite. I just went nuts for this,
I'm
and
going
the fact
nuts
that it
already.
didn't cost much. So there's a foot, and there's the tail.
Okay, so where's his other foot?
Right there.
Oh,
And there's this little base. So we have 1, 2, 3,
I like the big toe.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He has a toe like mine.
8 parts counted the eyeballs.
Oh,
And the gluing them together. Oh, there's another part. I forget what that is. It's a little round ball.
his nose.
Oh, it's his nose.
Because we keep seeing where they forget to
9.
stick his nose on there.
There's 9
9 parts. Yeah, because look, his nose isn't there, and you got to paint that black, and then.
And there's the main assembly right there. We're almost 90% finished now, building our Rat Fink. And then, of course, the real thing comes when you go to paint him, because you know. But that was what was fun. You glue this together. As a kid, it took me all of 5 minutes, and then I spent the rest of the day
Yeah, my mind is turning here.
painting this guy with my Tester's paints.
Oh, I thought is so cool. I want one.
Isn't that neat?
Can we go find another?
Oh, they're around. They're all over
around?
the place. I think there's been somewhere around 600,738 re-releases of this because
I want to buy them and put them on the dashboard of my car.
there's just nothing to it.
Yeah.
But this was the classic, the original, the stuff that really, this was one of the car kits, and this is one of the ones that Jim Keeler developed, the road agent. But these are really complicated car kits with engines and da-da-da-da-da. But those got really eclipsed by these guys. Here's Surf Fink. Because when this was such a home run, they just kept doing more and more and more and more and more of them. So here's a whole grouping of them. These are some of the ones that were available. So this is Fink Eliminator, Surf Fink, and Mr. Gasser.
I like Mr. Gasser.
Mr. Gasser is what I made Bat Fink out of Mr. Gasser.
Yeah.
And I think he's sort of based on Mother's Worry, the character of Mother's. Anyway, so this was also the era of the surf music and stuff. So this was Surf Fink. And they did a whole bunch of surf themed and anyway, is that just the neatest? Yeah. You want to build it? Okay. I think we have 3 or 4 of them up in the attic.
We do?
Oh, well, and the price on these things, let's see, this has a car with it, so that doesn't count.
Well, that's okay. He can go in my Focus.
Okay, here's a re-release of Super Fink.
Da-da-da-da-da.
And I think the price has come off of it.
Oh, dear.
Well, anyway, they sell for a couple, but and then this has Brother Rat Fink, Angel Fink, Rat Fink, again, Dragnet, Surf Fink, and Mother's Worry.
Mother's Worry is always good.
Yeah. So these are all just different ones that they did, and they even did a figure of Ed Roth himself.
Oh, yes.
And that was kind of fun. I think you had to get it with a car. In fact, I think. Well, here's he came with the Outlaw with the Robin Fink. But you can see this one is a little different in that it actually came with a car, so it was a little
cool
more
car,
expensive.
Though. Look at that.
The Outlaw with Robin Hood Fink. And I think that might have come with an Ed Roth figure. But one of these cars.
Is that one? That's another Super Fink?
Yeah,
No.
a couple of them. I think a couple of them. Anyway, they came with just a little, and it's just Ed wearing his top hat and tails. The top hat and tails is quite a story, and I just have to share it quickly. But that was his signature look. He'd show up at the car shows and everything in a top hat and tails. And people thought, well, he was just trying to be cool. Oh, no. Oh, no. If you knew Ed, no. No. His version of cool was to sleep in his car in the same clothes that he'd been wearing for a week.
Oof.
And he was at one of the car shows, and he came crawling out of the back seat of his car in a filthy T-shirt and went to work painting some T-shirts for people. And one of the Revell people were there, and they said, "Oh my gosh, kids are seeing him, and this is disgusting." So they called him into Mahogany Row, and they said, "Look, we're paying you millions of dollars. You cannot sleep in your car and show up in a filthy T-shirt at the car show. There are children. You have to dress better."
Oh, boy.
And he showed up at the next car show in a top hat and tails as his way of saying, "You want better? How about this?" That
It's
was
the
Ed.
spirit of Rat Fink right here.
That was Ed. So that's how the top hat and tails evolved. A giant smelly rat that lives in a junkyard. Well, anyway, these are really fun kits, and they did, like we say, a whole bunch of them, and then we're going to follow up with this because once other model companies realized that they were making a fortune on a kit with 9 parts, it's like, we got to do the same thing.
Yeah, get out your 9
all
parts
of a sudden,
and go for it.
The market was getting flooded with rip-off versions of this. Well, I should say rip-off. Let's just say alternate.
Knockoff.
alternate facts, alternate realities.
The knockoff version.
The knockoff versions. So we'll be picking those up on next Tuesday. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And the way to do that is with the blue button just above Rat Fink over here. You ready? Zoink! The blue button right there. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet, and we hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Sunday with some other foolish stuff. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.